That is all by itself is impressive. And these gentlemen, we'll get to them in a moment, but just quickly tell everyone what Honor Flight San Diego is.
Yep, we're taking World War II, Korea, Vietnam vets on a 3-day trip to Washington, D.C., and they're going to see all the memorials that were built for their service and sacrifice, and we get to truly thank them for everything they did while they were in the military.
We have, would you like to introduce our two special guests?
We have Oscar Johnson here, and they are brothers. They come from we have Oscar and Joe Johnson, and they come from a long line of Johnson military brothers. 5 out of the 6 brothers served in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam.
And Oscar, you were in the Marine Corps?
Yes.
What was your exact assignment?
I had several assignments in the Marine Corps. First, I started off in the infantry, MOS of 0311, and then I took another MOS 0351, machine gunner. And lastly, I was 8511, drill instructor at MCRD here.
Can you remember the first day you stepped off the plane in country? Can you remember, like, hey, we're not in Kansas anymore? Can you tell us, describe that moment?
I didn't go in country in Vietnam. I was frozen. I was on the drill field.
Okay, so you didn't experience the jungle per se?
No, I didn't. He did mine too.
We're hence the Bronze Star on that cap. All right, so let me just take that question and push it down the sofa here. What was that moment like when, hey, this is not my hometown anymore?
It's hard to describe. I was lost, but I had men under me, although I was 22 years old.
Which is crazy. You were the old man at 22.
And I was the old man.
Yeah. Wow, that's nuts.
And I had to make decisions, but through my upbringing and the legacy of my brothers in front of me,
We'll get to that brother legacy, but could you tell us how you earned the Bronze Star, sir?
I don't want to describe.
Hard to describe? That's fair enough. I don't want to take you anywhere you don't want to go, but can you just tell us about the fear factor of walking through that jungle?
Miserable.
I bet.
But after a point in time, and you knew what you was doing, what you had to do, at one point, you didn't care whether you lived or died.
I can't imagine getting to that level of despair. We're talking about your brothers. Can you tell us about the role? This is a legacy deal as far as your family is concerned. Can you please explain?
Yes, our oldest brother, Roman, he landed with Eisenhower's group in Normandy, the beaches of France and Normandy. In 1944, June 6, 1944,
sure.
And also I had a sister born on that day, and that was my mother's birthday. And
I was 2 months old.
When was the last time you were all together, all the brothers?
I believe it was 1998. We were all together.
Wow, I would have paid a king's ransom to be in that room to listen to those stories. And it's the stories like this that is what Honor Flight is all about, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I've said it before that going on this 3-day trip, you get to sit next to men and women that have served in our military service, and you get to hear the stories that you just aren't going to find in history books.
And gentlemen, as we wrap this up, I'm going to give you each a chance here. What do you want to say to youth, maybe perhaps following in your footsteps, considering the military as an option in their respective careers? What would you say to them?
I would say that to serve this country, which is one of the greatest countries that God ever created, I would say that it's worth it. It's totally worth it. It's not a perfect country, but it's the best country on earth.
And you get the final word, sir.
May God have the glory. As serving in the military was greatest experience that I ever had, even after I got out of the military. Serving is good. This country is great.
Both of these gentlemen were drill instructors, and then they came home here to San Diego, and they were both in law enforcement as well, and served out. So they served their whole life, whether it was in the military or here in law enforcement, and they've never been to Washington, D.C., so we are going to give them a tour of a lifetime in D.C.
Gentlemen, it is going to be an honor to be part of that honor flight, and I look forward to hearing your stories in greater detail when we have more time, and we will, I suspect maybe there might even be a cold beverage involved. So we're along the line.
7 days from right now.
7 days from right now, and I get to ride along, and I'm so, I'm just excited, I'm giddy. So that's where we're headed. And gentlemen, what an honor, what a debt we all owe you, and for that, on behalf of everybody who's watching this, just a big heartfelt thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more Good Morning San Diego. We'll be checking out the rest of the morning's news coming right up, including a weather forecast.